Good afternoon, Rod Baker with God and Rod. And I have a question. What'd you say? What'd you say? What were those words that came out of your mouth? What did you say? Because I can pretty much guarantee you that the way you spoke about others is what came back on you. At some point in time, what we speak about others comes back on us. It truly does. It may look different. It may seem different, but it comes back on us. See, this is the thing. And you know, it's written to love your neighbor as you do yourself. Okay? First, love God with all your heart, your mind, your soul, and your strength. And then love your neighbor as you do yourself. Love that means that person next to you, that person that's allowed in your vicinity, is the way I take it. I don't take it by, people that live, the next mile section over, or, or down the road, or even next door. I don't take it that way. My neighbor is my brother. They're the one that I'm willing to be there for. So love your neighbor as you do yourself. The issue that I have with that is most of us are doing exactly that. We're as hateful to them. We're as hateful to our family. We're as hateful to our kids. We're as hateful to our spouses as we are to ourselves. What'd you say? What came out of your mouth? If there was just one thing, if there was one thing that I would want to plead with you about, watch your tongue. The power of life and death is in your tongue. You can ask those witches that have been trying to put spells on me from Mexico. And you know the way I can tell is because I have this huge desire for salsa. Anytime that those witches in Mexico are trying to cast spells on me, I can tell because I have this huge appetite for salsa. But even that, they're not realizing that what they say comes back on them. It goes back on them. They curse themselves. And the worst part about it is they usually curse their generations after. The power of life and death is in the tongue. What you say matters. What you think matters. What you believe matters. What you know matters, absolutely. But what comes out of your mouth? That's power. That's power. And when you're dealing with someone who knows who they are and knows who they are to God, there's nothing you can say or do that is not what He has allowed. I've told everybody that's been in my life for the last 10, 15 years, if you want to change my mind, if you want some things about me to be different, talk to God. Talk to God. He and I's relationship has gotten to the point where he talks to me because I talk to him, because he talks to me, because I talk to him, because I believe him and he trusts me. Spiritual life is not a theory. It's not a bunch of abracadabra. It's not a bunch of, voodoo hoodoo. See, it's the spirit world, and the power of the spirit world is not meant to hurt people. So if you're saying things to hurt people from the get-go, that's going to come back on you in 110 different ways. See, the power of the Spirit is meant to heal. Plant seeds. Nurture. Now, I realize not all of us had nurturing. Not all of us had nurturing. We've had to come to understand nurturing. We've had to come to understand what love of God and love of ourselves and love of something bigger than us. I was having a conversation with a guy the other day. And I was talking about God, and he said, do you have to use the word God? And I said, well, yeah, but let's talk about it. And I asked him, do you believe that we're all connected? Do you believe that there's this underlining connection to us all, this energy that all of us plug into or that are a part of? He said, yeah, I believe that. And I said, what would you name that? And he said, I wouldn't. It's just energy that connects us all. And I said, well, it's a good way to use a bunch of words that you don't have to, but okay. So then I asked him, because he's a heavy set guy, I said, do you ever use the word fatty? Do you ever use the word fatty? And he said, no, I don't ever use that word. And I said, but wait a minute now, wait a minute. It's just a word that describes something, right? It's just one word that describes something, right? He said, yes, but it's a negative word. So I don't use that. And I said, so okay, what if we came up with a positive word for the energy that connects us all? And then that way you and I could say it and know what we're talking about and agree on it, and then we don't have to have these interruptions in me speaking. And he said, okay. So I said, come up with a word. He couldn't come up with one. So I said, you know what? Let me think of one. Let me think. How about if we call it Jehovah? Just off the top of my head. What if we just called it Jehovah? What do you think? He said, all right, I can live with that. He had no idea what Jehovah meant. So now, his intent when he says Jehovah is the power, the energy that connects us all. So when he says that, he calls it by name. His intent's the same. His intent is the same, to describe something that connects us all. Energy, love, faith, hope, the eternals. What'd you say? What did you say? You better take it back. You better take it back. or it's going to kill you faster than fear. Good day.